this is a tough issue for Ohioans because you know, you're voting in a sense to you know, as these people that are pro issue 3 are, to give jobs to our state, but is that really what's going to happen? And where's the money going to go? And what are you going to do about the people that it devastates? That's really my biggest concern, and that would be my biggest outcry about this issue.
Well, there was a problem in college, and then it, it just kept escalating. And then actually, when he went to the pros, it was out of control completely. And so that was really a bad issue then. So
I think my parents always knew that I had a desire to gamble. I don't know if they considered a compulsion because nobody really understood what a compulsion was back
That's
in
true.
the early 80s. But when they checked the bank account out and I had about $400,000 into it from a bonus, and when they found out there was nothing in it, they knew that there was a problem when that happened. So that was probably the first time that it came to the realization that, wow, this is could be devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I would say to families that are considering the vote of yes for issue 3 would be beware, because they have no idea whether a gambling addict will be in their family or not. It's a disease that is one you can't touch, taste, smell. You can't detect it and detect it until it might be too late. Nobody wants that kind of destruction or to take that chance on having that destruction. So, you know, I would be concerned if I was a family that's considering a vote of yes for issue 3, that that destruction of my family might be right next door and might be coming into the front door very soon, because nobody knows who's the compulsive gambler and who's not until they actually are exposed to the disease. You know, right now in Ohio, people have to drive a considerable amount of time to get to a casino. It takes a lot of effort to go out and actually decide to gamble. But when it's right next door and when they've made it sound so good and so exciting, somebody might walk in, get hooked that first day, and it might be all over with for them after that. And that's my biggest concern, is you just don't know who or how they're going to be affected. Why take the chance? Why put yourself in that position until you have all the facts?
a compulsive gambler always thinks that they can quit. They always think that they're above.
In control.
In control, you're right. And when it is compulsion, there's no way that they're in control ever, unless they're in treatment or go by the rules of going to GA and things like that. And then the compulsive gambler always chases after the
losses.
The loss. They go back and bet again because they think they can win again, and that's not true. They don't win. They just get further and deeper in debt and cause more trouble with the family and cause more just pain and agony to try to make it right. And they're sorry, and they're not. It's not that they're not sorry. They are sorry, but they can't control that part, and that's where the treatment centers come in, and there's very few of them in the United States.
What we want people to understand is that there is a danger portion of issue 3 that people need to understand before they ever get into it, and all we can do is relate our experiences of past, present. You know, who knows what's going to happen in the future. An addict never is completely healed, but they're in recovery, and it makes for a lifelong battle. So I guess our biggest concern is to make sure that everybody is aware of what's coming or could come with this, with these casinos in our state, and how close devastation could be at any time. There are going to be casualties with issue 3. There are going to be people that our lives will be ruined. They may not be tens of thousands of people, but there will be thousands of people that lives are affected by gambling. There will be people out there that lose their jobs. There will be people out there that commit crimes to get money to gamble with. There will be people that lie and cheat and steal to do anything they can to get the next dollar to bet once they become addicted. There will be families destroyed by divorce, fathers and mothers that won't be around their kids because of the time that they spend inside the casino. And I've seen it where people spend 24 to 48 hours and hardly ever even go to the bathroom. They can't wait. They want to continue to gamble at a table or at a slot machine. There were many low points. Every time you hit a bottom, you lose a game, you lose a bet, you tell a lie, or you cheat, or you steal. Those were low points for me. But I guess my lowest point was, when I was finally put in solitary confinement when I was in prison, and was in there for several weeks by myself. Couldn't contact my family, couldn't contact my children. Didn't have any connection with the outside world. When you lose all those things and you realize that, my God, you've carried this as far as I've carried it, you realize that this was far greater than myself, and that's and that's when I hit my knees and hope for the best, and tried to make it through each night. I was a great college player and had an opportunity to play in the NFL, and by the time I was a rookie in the NFL, I was a full-blown compulsive gambler. Was suspended for life after 1 year, lost $1 million, lost self-respect, dignity, and a lot of other things that go along with what happens when you are battling an addiction, and then the family suffers. The embarrassment, the humiliation, the financial stress that it puts on a family with an addict in the family. We can go on and on and on, and it just wasn't for a year or two or three. It was a 20 or 30 year ordeal after I became addicted, and eventually, in 2002, my father committed suicide because he was a compulsive gambler and played the stock market.
Yes, that's right. It's hard on the family. It's hard on the children, the grandchildren, even friends that you have, and I guess you find out who your real friends are, mm-hmm. that stick with you when your son's in prison and mm-hmm. when your family's torn apart. Mm-hmm. So yeah. You find out all these things, and it is hard to deal with. It's hard mm-hmm. to deal with visitation. At times you had to go visit in prison and took your children to visit mm-hmm. you in prison, and it was very difficult.
Yeah.
And we still have problems with family. So.
And to this day.